Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot, his Bad Robot company, are about to join Warner Brothers exclusively, meaning all content and anything he's involved in will be Warner Brothers Productions. Now, anyone who knows anything about J.J. Abrams knows that J.J. has always been exclusively with Disney. Both his groundbreaking shows, Alias and Lost, were aired on the ABC network, which is owned by Disney. So why the big change? This is a massive opportunity. Well, one of the big reasons that JJ still hasn't already gone through is because he wouldn't join Warner Brothers as long as Kevin Sugihara was involved. And I believe it's that stance that got rid of Kevin Sugihara from Warner Brothers. So what does JJ Abrams and his Bad Robot company joining WB mean for the studio? But I suppose for us, DCEU fans, DC World movie fans, it's a big opportunity here. J.J. Abrams has got one last ambition, and that is to make a Superman film. He was involved in a Superman film called Superman Flyby that never happened. If you go on the internet, you can hear all about it, and you can read all about it on the internet as well. So I think maybe once he does join WB, he will write and direct maybe a Superman trilogy, and I think maybe this is actually what's holding up a Superman announcement. So this is massive. This is massive. So we look at JJ's history with film franchises. We look at the Star Wars sequel trilogy. He did The Force Awakens. He's doing The Rise of Skywalker. He did Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness. So I think that that aspect of it is slightly worrying because his first Star Trek film actually was amazing. One of the best films I've ever seen. I actually really like Star Trek Into Darkness, but it was a controversial Star Trek film. There's no question about it. Then he jumped ship and joined Star Wars. He did The Force Awakens. It made a lot of money. Then he walked away, and he wasn't he wasn't originally going to do The Rise of Skywalker. It's just because they got themselves in a bit of a mess with what happened with The Last Jedi. They got rid of the guy who was originally going to do the final film in this trilogy. So I suppose if you look at the Star Wars sequel trilogy and what happened with Star Trek, you could say this could be concerning. But there's a difference this time. The difference is that J.J. Abrams is a massive Superman fan, but because of his exclusive deal with Warner Brothers, he will not be going off to do any other projects. There will be no jumping ship anymore because he's got exactly what he needs from the studio. An exclusive deal where he can cherry pick whatever content he wants, and he is desperate to do a Superman film. And I believe as soon as this is confirmed, he will be confirmed to do Superman, which will be very interesting. Or, if that's true, he won't direct the Supergirl movie because I think they'd want a female director. That's the way we are now, isn't it? If it's a female, it's directed by a female. If it's a male character, it's directed by a male, sometimes directed by a woman. Anyway, right, it's rather confusing. So I think he could have something to do with the Supergirl film. But almost definitely, he wants a Superman movie. He wants a Superman trilogy because it's something that he's never been able to do. He's a very ambitious man. He's a go-getter. Look, whatever we say about the Star Wars sequel trilogy, what happened ultimately with the Next Generation Star Trek movies, as I said, his first Star Trek film, 2009, I love that film. I really do. And as I say, there's no issue with him being distracted this time, having his fingers in too many pies, because he's going to be at WB and he's going to totally focus on this Superman movie. Do I know for a fact that he's going to grab hold of the Superman franchise? No. But I think it's the best thing at this time. He's got a great imagination. He's a great director. I think this will be absolutely perfect. But there's something else we're missing out here on here. He's a very good friend of Zack Snyder's. Yes. Now, this is a pivotal moment where maybe he may work with Zack on a Man of Steel sequel. Who knows? Look, the possibilities are endless. But the one thing we should understand that J.J. Abrams doing an exclusive deal with Warner Brothers has many positive consequences. Apparently, his wife may even be the new CEO of Warner Brothers, replacing Kevin Sujihara. This, of course, will be very, very interesting. Look, I like J.J. Abrams. He gave me Alias. I mean, he gave us 5 seasons of a female-led spy drama back in the days where having female leads weren't fashionable. And I still think that is the best female-led TV show I have ever seen. Yes, better than Buffy. It was amazing. And not many people talk about Alias, but it was better than Buffy. It was amazing. The man's a genius, but the problem since then, he's had his too many fingers in too many pies and he hasn't been able to focus. But this deal will have him focused. So I absolutely want to see him involved with Superman because I think he could do something incredibly special. I think he is a very interesting filmmaker. People accuse him of stealing other people's ideas. I don't think Alias was a stealing of somebody's idea. I don't think Lost was a stealing of somebody's idea. I think the man is a genius. I think, as I say, he has made mistakes like all creators make. But at the end of the day, I think this would be absolutely fabulous. So why is he leaving Disney after all this time? Because Disney are not going to renew their exclusive deal with him and Bad Robot. And there's a reason for that. Because J.J. Abrams doesn't want to work with Disney anymore. He's had enough. His experience during The Force Awakens and the mess that happened with Rian Johnson. Yes, in public he's saying, yeah, Rian Johnson did a great thing. I'm not rewriting what he did. But ultimately, he wasn't happy with what happened and how Kathleen Kennedy handled it or how Bob Iger at Disney handled it. The whole thing was a mess and J.J. Abrams is getting out of Dodge. Warner Brothers were discussing this all the time and now looking to give creatives freedom of artistic expression. That's very important. So for me, J.J. Abrams coming over to Warner Brothers and having this exclusive deal is very exciting. And yes, I'm biased. I want J.J. Abrams to give me an awesome Superman trilogy. And I actually think he can pull it off.